Hi everybody, I'm Emma Dalmain. I'm here with Emma Lloyd Buckingham. Emma very sadly lost her daughter Chanté in August, and I'm going to ask her some questions. She's been on the BBC, Channel 5, various media talking about the failures of the care that Chanté had. Emma, hello.
Hi.
I'd like to ask some questions about Chanté's care when she was younger. Did you have any intervention from CAMHS?
We did, yeah. The first intervention was actually for Charlie, her brother, and they used to come, I can't remember if it was fortnightly or monthly, but the autism specialist used to come to the house, and she used to see Charlie, and obviously in seeing Charlie she used to see Chanté. Instead of picking up on Chanté's autism or being autistic, she told me that Chanté was precocious.
Oh, that's helpful. So how many autistic kids have you got?
Two.
Kids and adults? Charlie and Tay?
Charlie and Chanté, yeah.
Were they any help, CAMHS?
Later on, much later on, when Chanté was about 13, she did start going to CAMHS, not because we thought she was autistic at that point. It was because we were having behaviour issues, mostly because she was struggling with her emotions. The school were having difficulty with her in class. She was having meltdowns. So she was referred to CAMHS then. She was assessed by two female doctors who did diagnose her then with being autistic, and that was that, to be honest.
We're finding that with CAMHS, as soon as a young person is diagnosed autistic, they're discharged, or the care just seems to tail off completely.
Yeah, she wasn't discharged, but we just sort of had regular appointments of 4 to 6 months, and we'd
That's not often enough.
Well, we would go and we would talk about her having meltdowns at school and the problems that we were having, and then it would be okay, thank you for letting us know, and then we'd be going back in 4 to 6 months. Nothing ever really happened.
So no coping mechanisms were advised, no medication was given?
Not really, until, because Tay was getting quite frustrated about this, until one day we went and same thing happened, I'll see you again, and on the way home she was so frustrated. She lost the plot on the way home, and she was she was having a full-blown meltdown. So I said that we were going straight home because we were planning on going to her granddad's. And because of the meltdown she was having, I was like, there's no way we can go around granddad's. So we were going home, and she was so in that meltdown that she grabbed the steering wheel of my car while I was on the dual carriageway doing 70 miles an hour.
Oh God.
So I turned the car around and went straight back to CAMHS.
Yeah.
And I, if I'm honest, lost the plot. I said, I want to see the doctor again right now.
That's just...
And I told them what she was saying. And one of the things she was saying in the car was that she wanted to punch the doctor in the face because she was that frustrated. And that's when the doctor gave her a prescription for lorazepam.
Oh, I see.
Not when I was telling her that she was having meltdowns and wanted to punch me in the face.
Yeah,
but
as soon as it was a risk to them.
But it was 2 tablets.
And
that was it. And then we carried on with... So, yeah, we didn't really have an awful lot of help at that point, no. So...
How old was Tay when she died?
24.
Tell me about her.
She had a wicked sense of humour, the most contagious laugh. She adored animals. She was generous to a fault. She just loved buying people presents, which was the bane of my life because I ran her money, I ran her budget, which was incredibly hard work when she's constantly buying people presents.
She's leaving herself and not enough money to eat and everything,
Yeah, her money was constantly going on other people because she just loved cheering people up. She could sing. She had a lovely voice.
She loved Audrey Hepburn movies.
Yeah. She loved anime. She loved horror films. She loved Matilda. and she could draw. She was the most amazing artist.
Really? What sort of art? Like anime art or?
She did a lot of anime, yeah, but she could draw anything.
Mm.
She just was incredible at drawing. But she loved anime, so that's the sort of thing she really liked drawing.
I take it she loved fairies. I don't know if you can see. You probably can't see, but there's loads of fairy ornaments and pictures and
fairies and toadstools she loved.
And she loved. You said that one of the last things she got was a Hans Christian Andersen book.
Yeah.
She liked fairy tales.
Yeah. She loved fantasy.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably because the real world wasn't.
She didn't get the real world. She didn't understand it.
Mm.
She tried so hard and she didn't. She just couldn't understand it.
The day Tay died, you went round and were told that she'd passed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to ask too much about that day because that's upsetting.
Yeah.
You've got a petition. What would you want the outcome of that petition to be? Because we're going to share the link for that, so I'd be grateful if everybody could sign and share that, please.
I personally, and from what I've seen from people that are messaging me from all over the country, I think that the CQC should be monitoring, regulating and inspecting supported accommodations in exactly the same way that care homes are.
Can you explain to me why they don't inspect them?
Well, apparently it's because they, some do that offer personal care. So it's the ones that don't offer personal care that aren't regulated by the CQC.
Personal care, though, to me, not having, a full in-depth explanation of what personal care is, to me, couldn't get more personal than monitoring someone's mental health, making sure that their medication isn't stored up, making sure that they're regulated and anything that they need.
I totally agree.
Should be there.
So
surely that's personal care.
Towards the end of my daughter's life, she wasn't getting out of bed. She barely left the bungalow. She barely went out. She wasn't showering as much as she should have been. To me, that is personal care.
Yes, very much so.
So, although that you're not physically helping her, because she's able-bodied, the fact that her mental health was in decline and she was neglecting to do those things for herself is personal care, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, prompting to get up, prompting to have a wash, prompting to go out for a little walk, anything.
And the reason, the government are talking about the Supported Accommodation Act. This is what their reply to the petition is. I can't respond to their reply. There's nothing on the petition that allows me to respond to their reply. If I could respond, I would be saying to the government that the reason I don't think the Supported Housing Act is the answer is because giving the local authority more powers isn't helpful when everyone I'm talking to that are sending me messages about my petition are telling me that they don't have faith in local authorities anymore. So if they don't have faith in the local authority, they're not going to tell the local authority.
No.
If there's an issue at their supported accommodation, these people are telling me that they don't have faith in their local authority. There needs to be someone else, someone new, someone they trust, that they will tell if they have a problem. My daughter wouldn't have told the local authority. My daughter shut down.
Tay was autistic. What was her other diagnosis?
She had EUPD, so she was emotional unstable personality disorder. So she had the rigid thinking of an autistic person with the emotional instability of someone with EUPD. So it was very, the rigid thinking, and then with the emotional instability, it made her, she was a roller coaster of emotions. But she also had a speech and language deficit, which meant that she didn't understand everything with clarity when people were talking to her. she could misinterpret what people were saying. And that wasn't because she had a lack of intelligence. She was an extremely intelligent girl, but she misinterpreted. She didn't understand tone, intonation,
facial expressions.
Yeah, so quite often, if she was trying to follow conversations, she would get them completely wrong, and this is why she found it very difficult to maintain relationships. She would fall out with people a lot, and a lot of the time people wouldn't understand why she was getting upset with them, and it was to do with the speech and language deficit that she had, because she wasn't processing the information correctly that was around her. And then again, you know, that just fueled the EUPD, because
and frustration and embarrassment
and unfortunately, you know, the waiting list that she was on, so the brain and body clinic, she was on the waiting list for nearly 2 years. She was on the waiting list for an OT. I think that was 18 months. All of these things that were supposed to help her, the waiting lists were just way too long.
It's appalling, isn't it? And she was depressed.
Yes, she had depression and anxiety.
What would, if you could send her a message, what would it be?
That I love her, that I need her, that, God, I miss her so much, that every time that she did what she did that day, when she did it before, Mum had always stopped her, and I would have stopped her that day if she'd have only told me that she was going to do it. And I think that's why she didn't reach out to me that day, which she had done in the past. I can't explain how big a hole that girl has left. She was like no other person I've ever met. She was utterly unique.
Thank you for talking to me and sharing Chanté with me. She sounds like an amazing girl.
I think she was.
Yeah. Please share this video and share the petition. Let's get those votes right up.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Thank you.